My name is Krista, and I'm an addict. This channel is dedicated to videos about my journey to recovery. I'll be filming my thoughts and experience throughout this time in hopes of gaining additional support and to let the addicts who are still in active addiction know they're not alone. I've used drugs on and off since the age of 12. I used to numb out emotional pain, to be part of a group, to feel accepted, you name it. I had an excuse to justify what I was doing to myself. As a result of this behavior, I was never able to learn a proper way to cope with life's stresses and eventually began to feel cravings to numb out however I could. The first time I realized I had a problem was at the age of 17. I had been using cocaine upwards of 4 times a week. I had just began my relationship with my boyfriend when he found out that this is how I had been living for the last 6 months or so. He told me how much he cared about me and how much he wanted to be with me, but that if I wanted a relationship with him, that I needed to get healthy and I needed to stop using. So I did. That's all it took for me to do it, was for somebody to tell me that they cared so much about me, that they wanted to see me be healthy and happy. I was clean from all drugs and occasionally would drink for about 2 years. About 2 years ago, I began smoking dope once in a while, but it quickly became a habit for every weekend, and then it started to creep into the weeknights, and before I knew it, I was smoking before school, which was something I had told myself I would never do. I even smoked a couple times before work at a child care center. I was supposed to be watching these kids, and instead I was in a fog from the pot, and I couldn't possibly be there for them. That was something I never thought I was capable of as a human being. But it happened. The stresses and emotional pain in my life had gotten so bad, I was to the point where I literally could not function without it. I had anxiety about everything. My relationships with my family were deteriorating. Everything was falling apart around me. In March of this year, I decided I needed to make a change. I thought if I could take everything that caused me stress out of my life and that I could focus on feeling better and stop the need to smoke up all the time. I took a leave from school. I told my job that I could no longer sub for them or work part-time. I pushed almost everything out of my life. The depression I'd been fighting for the last 3 years was telling me to isolate. And that's exactly what I did. I isolated for months. My addiction completely took over. I was using more and constantly throughout the day. If I was low or I ran out, I would panic and do anything I could to get more. I was so scared to not use because I was in so much emotional pain. I thought that if I couldn't numb it out, that I'd kill myself. Over the last few months, I've been working with my doctor, counselors, psychiatrists, you name it, all to try and figure out a solution to my depression. It quickly became clear that in order to work on my mental health, that I needed to be clean. So for a while I danced around different solutions to this problem, but nothing seemed to be enough. I realized that I needed major help with this because I'd been a problem for so long and it wasn't going to go away on its own. I decided to check into a residential treatment program on August 26, 2010. I lasted a day. I couldn't shake the fear of being alone without my boyfriend, who I'd become completely codependent on, and without my dog. I was so scared to be sober and have to feel more than I already was feeling, and also knowing that I was going to have to go through all of my shit scared me to death. So I had to come up with a different plan to do this, something that I think that I could stick to, something that I felt somewhat comfortable doing. So the plan is to attend NA meetings every day. They recommend 90 meetings in your first 90 days. I'm actually going to work the program this time, do this 12 steps, get a sponsor, participate in the meetings. Currently I'm using a book called Mind Over Mood as a tool to decrease negative thinking patterns. When my counselor returns from holidays, I will begin sessions with her and she'll help me through anything that I need. And later in September, early October, I'll begin a day program for addiction. It's 3 days a week, all day long, and they do different group meetings, individual counseling, speakers, and videos, all kinds of different things, and it's 12 weeks long. In addition to all those things, I'll be keeping a daily journal and posting the videos here for my own therapeutic value and hopefully for others as well. I'm hoping that you guys will stay tuned as I go down this path and try and reach not only sobriety but complete recovery. Thanks for listening.